Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Jeremy, founder of QuickMail.io.
Hey, this is Jack, Chief Lead Generation Officer at salesbread.com, coming at you with another Teardown.
Ah, man.
Is that synced? It's pretty
No,
good.
no.
Blame it on the Zoom lag. That's right. We've got 2 cold emails, or actually 1 and a follow-up. And then we're going to be tearing down an InMail message I got from LinkedIn. Should be a very interesting
LinkedIn reached out to you.
Yeah, how about it? No, it should be an interesting Teardown episode because this cold email took a much different tack than Jeremy and I usually do. So there's some fun things that we'll be thinking through. It was also sent by a company that kind of does outreach. So hopefully there's some good stuff to glean. But before we dive right in, a quick word from our sponsors.
No, we're not going to hear a quick word from Jack's sponsors because his internet just went down. All right, let me pause it and I'll resume when he's back. And we're back. So I'm not sure if you still qualify for being able to do your sponsorship stuff. I think you've been, so it's my turn. So the second sponsor, you haven't heard the first one, of course, is QuickMail.io. It's a fantastic tool for doing cold email, especially for agencies. It's really great. You can manage a lot of your accounts in just one super program that will help you grow with 200 accounts or 200 clients. Like, go for it. Plus, we got great deliverability with the free auto warmer. All right, let's hear it. What's the second sponsor?
Too kind, Jeremy. Well, if you're listening to the show, today, most B2B companies lack the time or expertise to turn those cold prospects into warm, qualified sales leads that want to talk to you. So at salesbread.com, we will bring you 1 lead or booked appointment every day, Monday through Friday, sending ultra-personalized cold emails and LinkedIn messages. If that sounds appealing, if you'd rather not do prospecting anymore in-house, you want to find out what we've been cooking up in order to get those results, head over to salesbread.com/contact and get in touch. We'll share some goodies. All right.
Great stuff.
With that, I'm going to share my screen.
All right.
So stand by. Here we go. Do you see me?
Yeah. Zoom a bit and we're good. Yes.
Go to 150 magnification. Subject is your view of SDR outsourcing.
What do you think of the subject already?
They put everything in all cap like it's a newsletter.
Oh, that's true.
I haven't done that in years, and I don't like when cold emails do that either. You agree?
100%. I mean, if 100%. You always just SDR outsourcing ? That could be, good enough.
Well said. All right. So the email reads, "Hi, Jeremy. We were wondering if QuickMail has experience working with a third-party SDR team to set qualified appointments. I founded Company X, a sales optimization firm where we manage and execute in-store sales activities like product demonstrations, and are starting a new division to set appointments for companies like QuickMail. From your experience, what's working about outsourced SDR role versus having in-house? What are some important must-haves when considering a third-party SDR team? Thanks for your insight, Jesse."
So what do you make of this? What's your first initial reaction?
They're taking the long approach, not really even going to the conversation about working together. Instead, it's kind of a research, fact-finding, doing their sales due diligence to maybe figure out if there's a need here. They could be testing a new market, it seems like. And they're asking you like your opinion on SDR outsourcing in general.
Like if I'm an expert.
Yeah, and as if you care to discuss that.
True too.
So that's what I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. Well, you received this email, Jeremy. How did it come across to you?
Oh, that's fine. I think the first line was really clear as to what they're offering, and so that's all I read because I didn't need it. But now I'm reading the full email. I'm like, WTF? Like, why don't you actually just go and ask if I need that? Why do you actually ask for my expert advice on something you don't even know if I'm doing? And there is like too many question marks. There's like 3 questions. There's 2 links that I'm not even sure what it is about, really.
Right.
Plus they're tracking links, so I didn't click on them either. It's weird. It's like, it's not a bad idea approach. The way they actually did it is pretty good. It's like, hey, wondering if QuickMail has experience working with third-party SDR teams to set qualified appointments. If not, is that something you want to discuss? Like, do you want to get more appointments? Like, whatever. It's like, why? That's it. That's your email. Or you, unlike the next one, like, I founded company X, a sales optimization firms, where we managed to execute in-store sales activity. Well, it's kind of a buzzword. So where we managed to do SDR activities on behalf of other people. There's a mini case study that is missing. Like we've been doing it in the last 4 years, very successfully, helping people reach, get things rolling within 3 months or whatever type of thing, like get results or pay for itself within 3 months. That's kind of like nice thing. And that's it. Are you interested in talking? Like, is that an avenue you want to pursue this year or to accelerate your business? That's it. That's like, you make it like more complicated than it needs to be. But I like the fact that it starts very openly with this. It doesn't actually, beat around the bushes. It say, we were wondering if QuickMail had experience with X. So it's like, cool. I know what this email is about. So in fact, this is what I liked about this thing. Agree with the subject line. Should be like much smaller, much shorter, much more like talking to you. It's like, it's where there's also some bold text somewhere. It's just like, can you just like write a normal email to me? It's like, I don't need your emphasis. I don't need your links. I don't need just put it straight.
Well, you brought up so many good points. I'm just going to zoom in on 2. When I read things like, I made this for companies like, and then insert that person's company, I'm always like, are you sure? Did you just say my company name and then tell me you made it for me when in fact it was just you made it for people that have a company name? So what's cool is right here, you can just put in, even if you serve a lot of different markets, you can just describe like for let's say
cold outreach companies or like cold outreach software companies,
sales SaaS companies like QuickMail, or
even
for healthcare companies like, or for whatever, just throw in segment companies like boom. And then that's a lot more believable.
I like SaaS companies like QuickMail. This is perfect, and they would have worked very well with this text.
So and then from like the
with B2B SaaS, even
the
better.
execution side, it's like, all right, we've got some wins in SaaS. Let's download our SaaS prospects. And then we have a dynamic placeholder for segment, and that says SaaS. And then we're going to grab healthcare, and that says, boom, healthcare, whatever. And it makes it a lot more believable. Okay, next, there's 2 questions.
3 even. Three questions. Which one do I answer?
Yeah, in the first one. Right.
Like,
so
which one do you want me to answer?
Right. So kill one of these must-haves. Like, that's just kind of assuming they're considering a third-party SDR team. When you say, what are some important must-haves? Well, simplify it. So
what's your requirements for working with outsourced SDR company? Like, maybe that's the closest one to what they're asking, but still, I don't like it either.
What about this? What if we kept this going, where we said we were wondering if QuickMail had experience? Actually, that's not even a question. So I'm going to end it with a period. Okay.
Right.
Now we can say, I don't know, Jeremy, let's spitball for a second, but it's like, Jeremy, if you haven't gotten to work with a third-party SDR team before, what are some or would you consider something like this next quarter or sometime for the remainder of the year? Or like, is that kind of in the realm of where we'd want to take it?
Yeah, I do like the fact that it's personal into saying like, I founded company X for whatever. I think this is important to sort of position your company into what you're trying to solve in the world, especially because there are so many dev shops. There are so many things that do, certain product or certain services. So when you brand yourself into doing, like we've been doing it for, I don't know, for B2B SaaS companies specifically, because of whatever stories here, I may or may not relate to it. And it makes your company stick more in my mind into, oh, okay, that's a company that does this because of X. And for me, that works well. It's a good thing.
Have you ever heard this story being described as that's your pirate flag? I worked with a client who was from Techstars, and their advisor came on a call. He was like kind of their investor slash he had to make the sales happen or else he lost a bunch of
Nice.
money. So he's like, listen, don't overcomplicate it, but you need to have like this pirate flag that when you put it up, your people will recognize it very quickly. What is that? It's one sentence that everyone else doesn't care about except the core few that you want on board now. So pirate flag statement should say like, it's like a call to arms for your tribe, right? Which is a pretty cool way to think about it. All right, well, we've had some great takeaways. I want to look at a follow-up. You ready for that?
Let's do it.
All right, follow-up, boom. Subject is your game plan for booking demos. Help me out. Is this like a new thread or like a reply to?
Completely different email.
There you go.
And so the funny thing about this is it's also uppercase, uppercase on each of the words.
Right.
Your game plan for booking demo.
Game copywriter.
Like, cool. I got a blog article sent to my inbox.
Blog article. Yeah. If it smells like a cold email, you're doing something wrong. I think that's the idea. But it reads, hi, Jeremy. It often takes 3 to 5 contacts to book a demo with a prospective buyer. Company X, a Tampa-based sales optimization firm, is starting a new division to set appointments for companies like QuickMail. What are some of your must-haves in SDR? Has your company outsourced SDR functions? Same 2 questions. All right. Well, I don't like that.
Advance. Yeah. And then thanks in advance for your insight and talk soon.
It's expecting a lot. Okay. So I think we all know the downsides. It's a repetition of call to action. You never do that. Every subsequent step has something new, both in a value prop, maybe a problem you address, social proof you add, and a call to action. So all that should never repeat. What do you think about opening with this factoid here?
I'm not 100% sure if it works. I know it doesn't on me because there's 2 reasons. If I know the fact, then you're boring to me, or like you're not at my level. And if I don't know the fact, I'm just wondering if should I really know this fact? It's like, it's not my job. So should I?
Yeah.
So it's weird. I would much prefer say a company working with us, accelerate all the company working with us, pay themselves the service within 3 months. Fun fact.
That's
it's
right.
like, okay, that relates to me. That's fine. If it relates to what you need to do, it's like, I don't care. So it's a weird sort of angle, I would say, in terms of the fact that they started with.
Yeah. What's the idea? Like, I think, okay, like I know what they're trying to do is say,
show
hey, founder,
expertise.
It's well, okay, interesting. I was thinking they said like, hey, it's a lot of work to get demos booked with prospective buyers. We'll do that for you.
Yeah.
Right. So,
but that's much better the way you said it.
Yeah. And there's probably a lot cooler way to do it in a mini case study. Like you said, like company Y went from spending 20 hours a week prospecting to now 0 hours, and they've got they've tripled their pipeline.
Yeah, better.
And paid for the service. And then that's when you can use a hyperlink.
Or they can concentrate on just closing, right? If you have some, like, it depends. If you have some person that needs to do 2 things or whatever, well, how about we do one of those 2 things, and then your salesperson can, focus on just closing demos.
Pretty good. Okay. So I think that's well covered. I don't have anything else.
I think I wanted to say something else about this. I forgot, but yeah. Okay. And it's kind of odd that they started a completely new thread with basically the same thing rehashed differently. What do you think of that? I'm not really against it. As in, like, if your first email is really good and you repeat the first email in a different thread or in a different way, I'm kind of like, why not, give it a go? Because it could be that, the first email was interesting, but the timing was wrong. Or it could be that, it was a very stressful day, busy day, couldn't have time for that. Not necessarily against that. What do you think of this?
You would have to know, looking at stats, that email just performs much better than most other things you've tested. And if you don't know that for sure, do not repeat yourself, because that's a wasted attempt. Maybe if it's a really mature campaign, I'd still say, like, can't we test and find another winner, like go close to it maybe, but be careful if you repeat yourself. It better be the one.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Okay. We're going to move on to an InMail teardown now. Jeremy, you good with that? Okay, we're good with that.
Let's do it.
Real quick, if you like this conversation, if you want to up your skills on cold email, head over to course.quickmail.io. It's where we hold all 8 modules on everything you need to know basically to start an agency. But even if you do this at your own company, it's kind of like building the best in-house cold email team and system that you'd probably get working with an awesome agency, maybe even like SalesSpread. But again, course.quickmail.io might be for you if you want a lot more and you want to do it, Jeremy.
And this is exactly why you would ignore those type of emails, and then you will give the course to your own in-house teams, so they can go and do it themselves.
And that's pretty nice. That is off your plate, and off your plate is pretty good. Okay, here's the InMail. It says, "Hey Jack, how's it going?" as a subject line.
InMail's got a subject lines. Okay.
Yes, yeah, it does. All right, we got, "Hi Jack, I recently came upon your LinkedIn profile this afternoon. How convenient. Thought I might send a LinkedIn connection request, but then decided it might be better to InMail you directly to get a faster response. Smiley face. Along with my team at company, I wrote a cold email marketing guide. I wanted experienced lead generators like you to review and share feedback. May I send it your way? Best regards, Lisa." Okay. And by the way, I'm only sharing this so that you can hear somebody acknowledging me as an experienced lead generator. That's it for the show. Thank you. No, joking.
Pat on the back.
Let's line by line. Subject line says, "Hi Jack, how's it going?" Freaks me out. This is like, I don't know this person. It's bad. Nothing about that is okay. And in my opinion, like,
I don't care.
It almost faked me out. I thought I was like going to get a message from a friend I went to college with or something.
Yeah, exactly. But isn't that like an American thing to say, "How's it going?" and not expecting anyone to answer anywhere? So it's just like a hi.
Not in a work subject line email.
Oh, maybe
this falls into the deception category.
Right.
Which, okay, Jeremy, it's worth bringing back up, is the subject line is a contract. You need to tell them what they're going to get. And if you break that, you're not helping yourself out in terms of response, right? Okay.
So in this case, what would you actually put for the subject line? Because the call to action is, "May I send it your way?" You know, they realize that you're an expert in those things. So it could be like, "Favor?" ?
I might say,
featuring you? Because
like, but bear with me, because what I would suggest if I'm going to rework this is, like, there's no inherent value of me
reviewing and sharing feedback.
A guide. That's so, like, "Hey Jack, you want another task to throw on your list?" Or even free? Worse, like, for free. So,
hey, no, it's not for free. They stroke your ego, man. You're an expert.
Oh boy, if that works, then we're dealing with an easy world out there. But I don't think, I'm not going to rely on that. What I'm thinking, Jeremy, is like, if you want serious authority figures in your space to weigh in on something you've built, help them out by promoting their work as well. So I might have said, like, okay, let's say this. Let's just keep this for a minute. Like, I wrote a cold email marketing guide. I wanted experienced lead generators like you to review and share feedback. That's okay. But then say,
"What's in it for me?"
In exchange,
right?
I'll put SalesSpread. I'll put your testimonial along with SalesSpread right on the cover or on the inside, so that our readers, who are very probably going to be good potential clients for you, will see your thoughts on it. May I send it your way? Great. You've done a good job, right?
But here's my question to you. What's their end game here? Like, what do they try to do? It's obviously not in a first email. What's their end game, do you think?
Great point, Jeremy. Okay.
I'm sure they couldn't give more of 2p or 2 crap about, like, you reviewing them and sharing your feedback. I'm like 100% sure of that. So what's their end game? What do they try to sell you next? I got no idea.
Okay. So takeaway number 5, whatever this is of this cast, is if you don't say what you're going for, it's like there's a catch.
Fishy.
You know,
Yeah.
we're skeptical.
That's right.
Okay. So I think we had a very similar approach, Jeremy, on a previous teardown. Somebody sent you, was it a PDF that they were hoping you would review, or it wasn't that different?
It was something around that line. I can't recall
but I love
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
So maybe we say, like, if it blows your mind, it would be great to see sales red sharing it, or, you know, but if
Not gonna happen.
it's not the best, yeah, like
I got too much things on my plate. Like, why would I actually spend time for a stranger that emailed me about like a potential guy just because you say I'm great at cold emails? Like, yeah, I know I'm great at cold email. Why do I need someone to tell it to me?
Maybe it's
I don't know. I
give
don't
it
know
away
the
in
game
exchange
here.
for a backlink, or
yeah, in this case, that's fine. It's like you would say the value proposition very clearly is like, hey, we got a website of 70 domain reputation. We're happy to, you know, grant a link to your domain. The only thing we ask in exchange is a quick review and a share of this article
on LinkedIn or whatever.
Does that work?
Twitter,
Question mark. Then that's it. Job done. It's like, I don't know. Like, does that really work? Like, I don't know. Like, sometimes I'm like wondering, like, are we living in a 4th dimension or something? Like how on earth can that actually work? And I don't know. Maybe they got people say no thanks, and then that's it. They're connected, or I don't know what they're doing. Like, I just don't know. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, Jeremy, there are great campaigns.
Explain me the world, Jack.
And there's terrible campaigns being run. It's like how good your campaign is has nothing to do with will it be run or not, almost, right? Like your experience with outbound and your likelihood to send outbound messages that,
hey, don't get me wrong. I understand people start, you know, from somewhere. This is fine. There's no problem with that. But the question is like, what's their end game here? Like, I can't even, like, you know, with all my experience of cold outreach, I just don't know where you go from here. It's like, where do you go from here? Like, how do you make it?
There's a couple of steps, but what if, Jeremy, they're like, okay, now that you've read it and you said it's good, it would be great for us to be able to write up something like that you can share, that you can do a guest post for. It would be great for us to come on your podcast and share our insights so we can get access to your audience. You don't think so?
No.
Jeremy's skeptical.
I will really start with like, hey, Jack, you know, you're an expert in things. We'd like to interview you. In exchange, we'll obviously post the interview on our website. It's got 4,000 visitors a month, whatever. They're in your potential target audience. Is that something that will interest you? At least there is a value proposition here. It's like, it's both. There's an exchange. Here, I don't really see the exchange at all. And whatever I'm answering, like if I say like, no, I'm not, it's like, would you even like start answering to that? Like, may I send it your way? It's like, why would I want to receive? It's like, I don't know. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't compute in my mind. Like there's like error every time I read this. I just don't get it. Right. So I really don't know. I'm like,
they're taking a very
I'm bugging. Like I bug.
That's funny. All right. Yeah. So keep it simple. You're writing outbound messages, be transparent, and try not to take so many steps to get to the end game here. If you want a backlink, ask for it in a way that the recipient is likely to say yes.
That's right. The other thing is, you know, we'd like to, you know, feature you because we think you're a great, you know, have a great audience and we like what you're saying, whatever. And in exchange, make the value proposition. There's no value proposition here. There's just one side. And obviously it makes me, you know, wonder. You could address it with a PS. That's one of the tips we've been saying a lot on our podcast. Use a PS. PS, the only thing we ask in exchange is X, or, you know, we want to obtain this, or this is our goal this year, and will be, you know, it'll be great to have you, or we are planning to get speakers down the line, you know, and we have been thinking of you, and so whatever. But, you know, sort of like be upfront. People like that. At least they can make an informal a decision on the spot about having all the information. I don't like when people do that. It's like, I have no idea where you're going with that.
Well, I'd say we've got one LinkedIn InMail and 2 cold emails successfully torn down and thoroughly torn down.
One's been burned. I'm sorry about that. Like I went in a massive rant.
That's
anyway,
good though. I got some good takeaways from it, so I'm sure it's
doesn't
appreciated.
compute.
Sweet. All right. Well, anything else from you?
No, thanks, Jack, for being so patient with me when I can't compute stuff.
Anytime. Thanks, Jeremy.
All right, you bet.
See
Bye,
ya.
Jack.